Hey everyone, my name is Scott. We have 3 more movies for you. Let's get started. Disney's Christopher Robin stars Ewan McGregor as the title character. This is the fictional Christopher Robin, not the non-fictional Christopher Robin that we saw in Goodbye Christopher Robin. This is the character, not the real-life person. The story surrounds Christopher Robin as he grows up and leaves the 100-acre wood. One day, Winnie the Pooh wakes up and can't find his friends, so he escapes the 100-acre wood to find Christopher Robin to see if Christopher Robin knows where his friends are. And of course, Christopher Robin is grown up now and played by Ewan McGregor, and he can't quite have Winnie the Pooh hanging around, so he has to take him back to the 100-acre wood and help him find his friends. And then his friends, in turn, help Christopher Robin solve a problem he has. I was okay with this film for like the first 20-25 minutes, but then the movie completely won me over, and I can pinpoint the scene where it happened. It's the scene where Christopher Robin is reunited with Eeyore. Sometimes movies make the wrong choice, and sometimes movies make the only choice, and this movie made the only choice it had to make, and that is Brad Garrett as Eeyore. He's perfect. And you guys, I don't know if it's something about living in a pandemic, but everything Eeyore said hit me as hilarious. I laughed hard throughout most of the scenes. Eeyore steals every scene he's in. And it's at that point that this movie had me. I was completely charmed by it. It completely won me over. Ewan McGregor's great. The voice casting for every character is great. Legendary voice actor Jim Cummings returns to his dual roles of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, and he's as amazing as he's ever been in these roles. Toby Jones plays Owl, Peter Capaldi plays Rabbit. It's fantastic. But this movie is completely charming. It's just a charming watch. I was completely won over by it. I loved it. Operation Finale is a 2018 World War II true life story directed by Chris Weitz. It is the story of Israeli officers who go on a mission to capture former SS officer Adolf Eichmann. Eichmann is played by Ben Kingsley. One of the main hunters is played by Oscar Isaac. And this is one of those movies where I appreciated the performances more than the final film. I thought Oscar Isaac was really great. I thought Ben Kingsley was really great. Nick Kroll plays a purely dramatic role, and he's surprisingly good. It wouldn't be a movie on the show if Haley Lou Richardson didn't show up, and she's also very good in this movie. This movie feels very much like Argo in a way that it's a group of people trying to do an impossible mission. But while Argo tinges on the silly, this movie tinges on the more dramatic. And while I like the performances, I feel like the movie went on a little too long. It has some major pacing issues, especially in the third act. And the movie is at its best when it is Oscar Isaac and Ben Kingsley in a room discussing things. They have some fantastic scenes together, but the movie as a whole just didn't connect for me. The 1517 to Paris is a film? I think it's a film. It's directed by Clint Eastwood. And dude, doggy, is this movie not good. There are 3 or 4 movies that are fighting to be the worst movie I've seen this year, and this may win the competition. It's gonna be a hard-fought battle to beat this one. The film is about 3 childhood friends who grow up together and then go on a trip to Amsterdam. And they get on a train to Paris, and it is taken over by a lone gunman that has 300 rounds of ammunition. And this lone gunman is taken down by these 3 friends, and they save a bunch of lives in the process. This is a true life story. It happened in 2015. The 3 guys are hailed as being heroes, as they are. That is not in question. But Eastwood's problem is pretty simple. Eastwood cast these 3 guys as themselves in this film. And this is not their fault. They are not actors, but they're called on to be in this film. And they're very bad at playing themselves. And this is not their fault. This is Clint Eastwood's fault. But by recreating and having to act through what they did and it coming out this badly somewhat degrades what they did. They're heroes. They shouldn't have been treated this way. And it doesn't help that this screenplay gives them absolutely nothing to work with. This is not a feature film. This is a 20-minute short at best. Sure, the first act is fair enough. We see them growing up. We see them going to military school. But this second act is terrible. Hands down, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The second act of this film is awful. They go to Amsterdam and they take selfies incessantly. And then they talk about taking selfies. And they go to gelato shops and talk about how good the gelato is. And then they go to the next place and take more selfies. It's incessant. And it's borderline unwatchable. They meet a girl and immediately ask her to take a picture of them, and then they inspect the picture. Full scenes of this movie are them looking at their phones. There's nothing here. There's something to be said about the sadness that is invoked in a movie like The Brown Bunny, but there's none of this here. It's just them partying and looking at their cell phones. And it's handled really poorly. It's edited badly. This is one of the worst edited movies I've seen in a long time. There's a Skype conversation between two of the guys. And when you're shooting a Skype conversation, you can still do shot, reverse shot. That's something you can still do even with a computer screen. But this movie does none of that. It has both guys on the same side of the screen between the edits. It doesn't make any cinematic sense. Two people talking is probably the easiest thing to shoot cinematically. And apparently it's the easiest thing to screw up too. And sure, the third act where the attack actually happens is relatively compelling, but it doesn't make up for the blandness and the nothing burger that is the first two acts of this film. This movie's terrible. Is it worse than Cats? I think it may be worse than Cats. It's definitely worse than The Hustle. I'd rather watch The Hustle again before watching this. I'm never going to watch this ever again. I'm never going to watch it again. And that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Have you seen any of these movies? Did you hate the last one as much as I did? I'll see you down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching.